I'm here with Bentley to talk about halter training your miniature horse, or in this case miniature mule, when they're older. You can't use the method that I talked about in my last video because they are no longer babies following mummy. And often when they've already had a poor association with the halter because they've had poor experiences. And that was the case when I got Bentley. He was a yearling and he had had very little training with experience with a halter before I got him. And then we put him behind a gate, got a halter on him, got him into the van, got him castrated. So all his negative experiences with the halter were with me. So that was a double whammy, right? I mean, they were necessary and we tried our best to do them as kindly as possible, but you know, it wasn't positive for him. So what I did, I could get a halter on him, but if I did, all he would do is pull. He'd just pull on me all the time. So instead of trying to work from that when we already had that established, that behavior established, I started fresh and I stopped trying to halter him and started training him at liberty. So the first thing that I taught him was to be polite. Bentley position, good, is standing beside me with his nose away. And I made that highly reinforcing so that he knew that he was going to earn food rewards when he stood next to me with his nose not touching me. Then, once that was really established, I started moving. And he moved with me in order to maintain that rewarding position. He figured out very quickly that that would also be rewarding for him. So using positive reinforcement, now he's offering a side pass. Good boy. Using positive reinforcement, I was able to teach him to lead at liberty. I also taught him things like picking up his feet. Good. Good boy. At liberty. I taught him to, as he was trying to demonstrate side pass, I taught him to back, back, back. Good. At liberty. Ha. Ha. Good. So all these things that I was able to teach him at liberty before we ever tried to put a halter on him again. So that we already had skills and we had a relationship and communication that had nothing to do with the halter. When I was ready to start reintroducing the halter again, I started by, can I stand and put my hand on the other side of your neck? And then reinforce that. He's already in that be polite position that we've established. So then the next thing was simply to pass the halter underneath, pop it over his nose, and voila, the halter's on with no fuss or muss. Now, of course, this was years ago, and he's very much comfortable with a halter now. But just to demonstrate, that is exactly what I did. I got him so that he was comfortable with my hand around him. I passed the halter to me, and voila, he's haltered. And then we went back to the same skills. Walking with him with a really loose lead. So it isn't that I'm pulling on him. I'm doing the same skills I was at liberty. It's just that now I have a lead rope in my hand. Good boy. Good boy. So if you have a horse that's challenged with a halter, that finds it scary, that has had difficulty, has a poor experience, a poor opinion of halter training, I suggest that you start teaching things at liberty first and then reintroduce the halter. Now if it's the halter themselves that they're worried about, we can start using the halter as a target. So Bentley, can you touch? Good. Touch the halter, earn a treat. Can I touch you with the halter and earn a treat? These are all things that we can do as the steps go along to get them more comfortable with the halter itself. We can start carrying the halter while we're doing the other behaviors with them. If they're really fearful of the human, you could start doing all this in protective contact across from a fence. So really the goal is, you can be creative, but the goal is to not, just like it was with the baby foal, our goal is to not teach them to pull. We want to avoid pressure. So even today with Bentley, and actually I've now done it with every horse that I work with, if I'm having trouble with a groundwork behavior with a halter and lead, I take the lead rope off because I tend to use that lead rope as a crutch. And so if I don't have it to start to pull them around, micromanage them, all of a sudden I have to be a better trainer, and we're not setting up that brace and that opposition reflex, and things are going to go a lot smoother. So I hope those are some tips to help you out. Feel free to send me a message. I'm happy to help if I can, and have fun with your miniature horses or mules.